Welcome to Story Planet, where we bring you relaxing tales to help you unwind. Tonight's story is The Quiet Bells of Canterbury. So settle in, get cozy, and let the gentle chime of the bells guide you to a world of peace and timeless beauty. Now, let's begin. The village of Canterbury was a place of quiet charm, where cobbled streets wound gently between half-timbered houses and gardens overgrown with wild roses. At its heart stood the grand cathedral, its spires reaching into the heavens as if to embrace the stars themselves. By day, the streets hummed softly with the lives of its people. Shopkeepers arranging their wares, children chasing shadows, and travelers pausing to marvel at the ancient beauty of the town. But by night, Canterbury belonged to the bells. The bells of the cathedral were unlike any others. They did not toll for the passage of hours or summon the faithful to prayer. Instead, they rang in soft, harmonious patterns, their melodies carrying a sense of calm over the rooftops and into the countryside beyond. The villagers believed the bells had a soul of their own, a voice that spoke not in words but in feelings, of comfort, of reflection, and of peace. Among those who cherished the bells was Eleanor, a quiet woman who lived alone at the edge of the village. Her cottage was small but warm, its windows framed with ivy, and its chimney always puffing softly with the scent of lavender and sage. Eleanor had lived in Canterbury all her life, her days spent tending to her herb garden, and her evenings weaving baskets by the light of a flickering fire. She had a gift for listening, not just to people, but to the world around her. Each night, as the moon rose over the spires, Eleanor would sit by her window, her gaze fixed on the cathedral. The bells, she believed, carried stories within their chimes, stories that had been gathered over centuries. And on this particular evening, as the first notes floated through the air, she felt an old, familiar yearning, a call to understand the stories behind the sounds. Long ago, her father had told her a tale about the origin of the bells. It was said that they were crafted by a wandering monk who had traveled from a distant land, carrying with him a fragment of starlight. The monk had infused the bells with this celestial fragment, ensuring that their tones would resonate not just in the ears, but in the hearts of all who heard them. Eleanor had always loved this story, even as she wondered whether it was just a tale told to brighten a child's imagination. But tonight, something about the bells felt different. Their melody was softer, slower, as if they were whispering a secret to the night. Eleanor wrapped herself in a woolen shawl and stepped outside, her bare feet pressing into the cool grass. The air was crisp, carrying the scent of blooming jasmine and distant rain. The bells grew louder as she approached the cathedral, their chimes weaving through the narrow streets like a guiding thread. When she reached the square, she found it empty, the usual bustle of the day replaced by a profound stillness. The cathedral loomed above her, its stone walls bathed in moonlight. For a moment, Eleanor hesitated. The bells were always heard, never seen. Who was she to intrude on their mystery? And yet, the doors of the cathedral seemed to invite her in, their heavy oak panels slightly ajar. Gathering her courage, she pushed them open and stepped inside. The interior of the cathedral was vast and echoing, its arches soaring into darkness. Candles flickered along the walls, their golden light casting soft shadows on the worn stone. The bells, though distant, filled the space with their music, each note resonating as if the very stones were alive with song. Eleanor walked slowly, her footsteps muffled by the ancient carpet beneath her. As she approached the nave, she noticed a figure standing near the great bell tower. It was an old man, his robes simple but well worn, and his face framed by a long beard that shimmered faintly in the candlelight. "You heard them," the man said, his voice deep and calm. It wasn't a question, but a statement, as if he had been expecting her. Eleanor nodded. "I've heard them all my life, but tonight they feel different." The man smiled, his eyes twinkling with a kindness that put her at ease. "The bells sing to those who listen with their hearts. Tonight they sing for you." "For me?" Eleanor asked, her voice barely above a whisper. The man gestured toward a small spiral staircase that led up into the bell tower. "Come," he said, "I will show you their story." Eleanor followed the man up the narrow staircase, the walls cool and rough against her fingertips. As they climbed, the sound of the bells grew louder, their melody filling her chest with a warmth that felt both comforting and overwhelming. When they reached the top, she gasped. The bell tower was open to the sky, its arches framing the stars like a celestial painting. In the center hung the great bells, their surfaces worn smooth by time. They glowed faintly, as if lit from within, their bronze bodies humming with a quiet energy. The old man stepped forward and placed a hand on one of the bells. "These bells," he said, "are keepers of memories. Each chime carries a story from those who have passed through Canterbury. Lives lived, loves found, dreams fulfilled." Eleanor approached the nearest bell, her hand trembling as she touched its surface. Images flooded her mind. A young couple dancing in the square, an artist painting the cathedral at dawn, a child laughing as they chased a butterfly. The stories were not spoken, but felt, each one a thread in the tapestry of Canterbury's history. Tears welled in Eleanor's eyes. "It's beautiful," she whispered. The man nodded. "And now you are part of their story. Your life, your dreams, they will echo through these bells for all who come after." Eleanor spent the rest of the night in the bell tower, listening as the man shared more about the bells and their purpose. As dawn approached, the bells grew silent, their music fading into the soft chirping of birds. The old man smiled at her one last time before descending the staircase, leaving Eleanor alone with the bells and the stars. When she returned to her cottage, Eleanor felt a deep sense of peace. The bells no longer seemed like a mystery to her. They were companions, keepers of her village's soul. From that day forward, she listened to their chimes with new ears, finding comfort not just in their sound, but in the stories they carried. And when her time in Canterbury came to an end, Eleanor's story joined the countless others that the bells had sung over the centuries. The villagers continued to hear her presence in the quiet chimes, a gentle reminder that every life leaves an echo in the world. Thank you for joining us on Story Planet. If you felt like you were right there under the cathedral's arches, hearing the quiet chime of the bells, consider giving a thumbs up. If the story brought you peace and calm, feel free to share it with friends and family. Don't forget to subscribe for daily stories from Story Planet, offering serene escapes every day. Wishing you a peaceful night and a relaxed sleep. Sweet dreams.